Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Tuesday, May the 15th, and welcome to our video commentary. You know, following politics and giving opinions about politics is a little bit like following the weather. You know, for example, today in Dallas, Texas, we're expecting some rain. It's cloudy. There were some raindrops earlier this morning. Just a couple of days ago, it was sunny and sunshine, and there was no sign of rain. So, in politics, as with the weather, you have a lot of changes. You have a lot of ups and downs. You have changes, predictions that turn out to be wrong, and all of that kind of stuff. Well, if you go back about 6 to 9 months ago, there was a real consensus among the so called experts that 2018 would be a great year for the Democrats. They were going to blow out everybody. It was going to be a fantastic year for the Democrats. They were calling it the blue wave and all of that kind of stuff. Now, one of the reasons that they were making those conclusions is because of the history that usually the president loses seats in his first term or his first midterm. And that is true. Now, I don't know how far back that goes, honestly, but I know certainly recently President Obama, President Clinton, a little bit of Reagan, a little bit under President the first Bush. There were some things like that happen, but the biggest blowouts were in the first Clinton midterm and the first Obama midterm, when both of them lost over 60 seats and actually lost the leadership of the House to the Republican Party. So there's a little bit of history that supports this, but you know, like my old history professor used to say, history repeats itself until it doesn't. But anyway, last November, there were all kinds of assumptions that the Democrats were going to have a big year. But now it seems here over the last couple of weeks, it's changing. One of the metrics that we use to measure how one party is going to do against the other is the so-called generic vote. This is where they ask people, who are you going to vote for, Democrat or Republican? And just 6 months ago, the Democrats had a 10 to 15 point lead in that poll, suggesting that there was a wave coming. More recently here, over the last couple of weeks, that difference is down to 3, 4, 5, which is pretty close to the margin of error. And when you're talking about the margin of error, what that means is that maybe not much is going to change. The difficulties for the Democrats, of course, are even more difficult in the Senate because they're defending 5 Senate seats in Montana, North Dakota, Missouri, Indiana, and West Virginia, and those are, of course, very red states. So the first sign of the changing political winds is that the numbers began to change. There was another very interesting sign, too, over the last couple of days, and that's from Willie Brown. Willie Brown, for those of you who may not know, is a veteran California Democrat who used to be the Speaker of the State House in California, a very powerful man in California politics. And he just came out with an article basically saying, Democrats, you're going to need more than just attacking Trump. You know, you got to have more than that. It's not just bashing Trump. He also said something very interesting. He told Democrats, Trump is a lot more popular than you think he is. And, you know, by the way, that's true because very often Trump will understate, or polling data will understate his support. Also, beyond that, you had a very interesting interview with Jimmy Kimmel, you know, the late night comedian. And he was saying that, you know, maybe these anti-Trump jokes are getting a little old and people are getting tired of it. And then you had the Washington Post that came out with a very interesting story saying that maybe we understated the Republican intensity, that maybe those Republicans are a lot more eager to vote than we thought they were. The bottom line is that nobody's talking about a blue wave anymore. And frankly, it's too early to talk about any wave anyway, whether it's blue, red, whatever it may be. It's still 5.5 months away, and a lot of things are going to change. But what is clearly different now than 5 or 6 months ago is the thought that the Democrats were going to win. Now, I think the Democrats have very serious problems. The Republicans have problems too, I don't deny that. But the Democrats have very serious problems, and that is, I don't see the Democrats doing anything in their politics that will make them competitive in places like in the central part of the country. I mean, when you hear the Democrats, they're attacking the NRA, that's not going to make them very popular in rural areas. They're calling for socialized medicine. That's not going to make them very popular with people who pay taxes. The vice chairman of the Democrat Party was recently seen with a T-shirt that said, I don't believe in borders. That's not very smart. That's not going to make him very popular. So I still think the Democrats are too far to the left to be competitive in much of the country. And this is why I continue to say that the best thing that could happen to the Democrat Party would be to have a bad day in November. Not because I'm a Republican, but because I think the Democrat Party has to change. And the Democrat Party has to come back to the center. And the only way they're going to do that is if they have a bad night in November and they're basically pushed to the center where they can be, frankly, a much better political force. Thank you for watching. We have all of this in YouTube. We have them in my Twitter. We have them in my blog. Have a wonderful day. And if you're having a birthday today, happy birthday. Bye-bye, everybody.